Welcome to the Random Encounter Show. I'm Deathstalker 5. What a broke elbow. What a way to start the show. We're in for our weekly episode of Table Talk. Make sure you have something to drink. I've got the Newcastles and Crusade. I can't remember what they call this cup. Basically an insulated cup here. Somebody said they're going to miss the old gas station cup. Well, it's not going anywhere. It's just still going to be used in the painting studio and such. We're going to try to take care of this one for as long as we can because it's an absolute beauty of a cup. Absolutely love it. But have you something to drink in whatever cup that you prefer. And come sit down here at the table. And we're going to get into a whole lot of random things. As you know, this is script-free. This episode is super impromptu. Up to about 5 minutes ago, I was planning to do an episode on solo tabletop role-playing games. I've literally been working throughout the week, jotting down notes on several pieces of paper of things I want to talk about for that show, but I quickly realized how big of an episode that's going to be. And how almost everything on this list of notes that I have, I could probably talk 10 to 20 hours on, if not more. So I want to get this better organized and more into, I don't know, something that's digestible in one episode. Anyways, like I said, super impromptu. This week we have a few things to talk about though. Because I don't want you waiting too long before you get an episode. You're going to decide Deathstalker 5 has gone. Anyways, first things first. We've got to wheel the cannons out here at the Fortress of Doom. Jay Kadiraman. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Forgive me if I'm not. But I think Jay's in Australia or New Zealand or somewhere. He sent in a super thanks to the show this week. So on behalf of all the Random Encounter Army and here from the Fortress of Doom, we salute you and thank you for patronage this show. And without further ado, fire! Oh yeah, that's going to become a thing around here. We've got to. In fact, if we get enough super thanks, we'll try to find us a small cannon to actually fire. Why not? You're dealing with the madman of hobby gaming. We could take guns out and fire them. I don't know. But a cannon would be more awesome. Like a small tabletop cannon we can fire at the wife from here. Across the living room. Anyways, guys. Yeah, you've all been completely awesome. We're starting to get a little traction around here. We're getting closer and closer to our 1,000 subscribers. I have no idea what we're going to do for our 1,000 subscribers. We got to do something though, right? What have I been doing? I have been locked in the studio. This is going to be the story for a little while. It's not too bad because it's still bloody hot outside. Miserable hot outside. Our part of the country, in western Alabama, all the way over to where Steve and Ken live in Phoenix, we're under some kind of weird heat dome is what they're calling it. There's no rain, just extreme heat, and it's a good time to be inside, to be honest. I'm too white to be out there in the sun too long. It just is what it is. Speaking of Ken and Steve, we had Steve on the show last week. They launched their Kickstarter, and it's the fastest fulfilled Kickstarter I've ever seen. I don't even know if it took 48 hours to fulfill the Kickstarter. People jumped on that like ants on a chicken leg at a picnic. It was on. So I know there's a lot of excitement about the new version of Monsters coming out, the Crystal Cavern Solo and other things. I'm super excited as well. So congratulations over to Steve and Ken. Obviously, we're loving your work, so keep it up. Another thing this week, was that a member of our show who has his own YouTube channel, he goes by Glowing Turtle on YouTube. I'm going to tag him in the description below so you can check out his stuff. I've been checking it out and it's top notch. He does a much better job than I do. It's not hard though, right? No, absolutely love it. His name's Ken. I absolutely love his channel. And he's actually written a few game books and designed a few games. And he contacted me wanting to know if I'd be willing to give him my shipping address. He wanted to send something over. And I was joking with him, okay? But anybody that's ever sent anything into the show, they're sending it straight to the Fortress of Doom. I know. I should probably have some barrier up in case somebody wants to send live rattlesnakes a bomb or something. I don't know. It's just a risk we take, right? But yeah, I gave him my address and I was just joking with him. I was like, okay, this is my home address. So that way if you get mad, you know, all you got to do is come over here and fight me. You know, just joking with him, but I think I scared him a little bit, so my apologies. Hey, we're all super friendly here. Come on over to the Fortress of Doom. You can sit here at the table and listen to me talk about nonsense all day. Maybe we'll play some games. Anyways, what he sent over was this game, The Drifter. Yeah, available on Drive-Thru RPG. Of course, I'll put a link down below to this game. I was very surprised at this game looking through it, and I made a few mistakes, okay? We're going to talk about that here in a second. But let's just get the description off the back. By the way, I absolutely love the artwork on this cover. It's minimalistic, but it tells a tome of story. What's more classic than the cowboy riding across the sunset? And he sent it over based on me wearing the Outlaw Josie Wells t-shirt. Guys, one of my favorite movies of all time. One of the greatest movies of all time. I absolutely love Western fiction, whether it's in movies or books. So this was right up my alley, huh? Is the light doing that thing again? Guys, let's see. Got to put out the magic hand. Look how it brightens up. When I film in the daytime, the daylight coming through the windows here in the living room and the artificial light coming from the ceiling, they conflict with each other. This camera is trying to do its automatic thing. It's the reason I bought this camera, but it goes light and dark. So I apologize that. We're going to fix that soon. I just need to start staying up till 6 in the morning and filming at night again, right? Anyways, can we talk about The Drifter? My bad. The Drifter. The Drifter is a solitaire adventure game set in the fictional Wild West. In this story game, no opponent is required. This book walks you through a series of events that are different each time you play the game. In these events, you as the Drifter will encounter all sorts of dangers in your quest to obtain enough money to purchase your ranch and live out your days in a serene retirement. That sounds nice. I have not played this game. In fact, I just got it this morning. But I have briefly looked through this game, and I quickly realized what I was looking at. And I am really impressed. Yeah? What this is a new modern game that's set in the Wild West, but it's heavily inspired by one of my favorite solo fantasy games of all time. Dwarf Star Games' Barbarian Prince. Okay? This is a game that is just unequal in my book. We've talked about this a few times before. We need to do a full review, maybe some gameplay of it. I got to figure out how I would film gameplay. But yeah, the Barbarian Prince, it's the hex-crawling solo adventure game of all time. So with Ken being heavily inspired by this game, he looks like he's done a masterful job at bringing the elements of what makes Barbarian Prince so good into his own game with its own style, set in a Western theme. And I believe he also has one with a science fiction theme. I think he's got a new fan in Deathstalker 5, by the way. Okay? Now, the mistake I made about this is this game, it gives you the rules. This book gives you the rules. And it gives you the events book, much like Barbarian Prince had the events book. He said he wanted to send me the PDFs of this book along with the printed copy. And I made the mistake. Guys, I don't do PDFs. I don't like reading screens. I don't like having screens at the table unless I'm playing Traveler, because I love Traveler map. Okay? And plus it's science fiction, so a screen around sort of feels right. I don't know. Normally I don't even use that, to be honest, with Traveler. But sometimes I do, especially when I play online with a group. But he offered to send me the PDFs, and I really hadn't looked at the game or really knew what he was sending. But now I'm going to have to go back, and hopefully he's not scared enough of me that he'll still send me the PDFs. Because like Barbarian Prince, there goes 10,000 game notes everywhere from games I got going on. But like Barbarian Prince, this is the board I printed out. As you can see, a nice hex board. One of the PDFs is actually the map board to go along with this game. Yeah? So I have to get back with Ken and see if he's kind enough that he'll send over at least a PDF of the map board. That way, Deathstalker 5 can print that out and get to play in this game, because I'm absolutely in love with everything that I've seen here. The layout of the book is fantastic. As you guys know, self-publishing in the book world can sometimes go awry. So I'm oftentimes wary of such things. Let's get the camera to brighten up. This is the Hand of Glory. Yeah, there we go. I'm wary about a lot of self-published stuff, but Ken's done a fantastic job here. I absolutely love that the layout and everything is nice and large in print. That he uses red and black bold print along with the card suits to go along with the game. It makes it very easy on the eyes, very easy to read. Again with the light, huh? I don't know. We'll just live with it. But yeah, definitely need the map, and there's some game cards as well. If you go to his channel, like I said, he shows gameplay examples of this game. I'm watching him play, and I can't wait to get into it. And I'm going to go back and grab the science fiction version as well. Okay? Top quality stuff. I absolutely love finding people building their own things and doing their own things, and just making such lovely games out there. So yeah, and in fact, we'll try to get Ken on the show if he's brave enough. You have to be pretty brave to come on here, because we don't do scripts or questions and answers and all that kind of stuff. But I'd very much like to talk gaming with him. He very much seems like somebody who gets it. So big shout out to Glowing Turtle Ken from the Fortress of Doom here. It's an absolutely lovely game. I can't wait to get into it. Yeah? What else has been going on around here? One thing I thought about I wanted to talk about, we haven't really got into that, is I'm just finishing up, I think for the third or fourth time, the complete Chronicles of Conan. This is the Robert E. Howard collection. Yeah, several authors after Robert E. Howard's untimely death. DeCamp, Lynn Carter, also Robert Jordan. Got that over here. You know, they've all handled Conan well. Conan is I don't know if there's a fantasy genre. A character, I should say. The Hyborian Age is sort of the setting, but there's so much involved with Conan, and so many authors had contributed to it. It's mind-boggling. I've definitely not read anywhere near the entirety of the corpus on Conan, and Conan has been, for a very long time, one of my favorite fantasy characters. I would choose Conan over pretty much everything else. You guys know I love Conan. I've made that quite clear, right? But Robert E. Howard's Conan, there's just something magical with how Robert E. Howard portrayed Conan And the world setting, the Hyborian age, the peoples of that setting, just the fiction around it, and even other characters than Conan, Red Sonja, characters that had become before, like Cole. I mean, it's just an absolute magical universe to read. And plus, it's a little bit darker and grittier. Robert E. Howard was in the time of pulp writers, also in Western writers. So I think those influences played a lot, and I absolutely love the mix. I absolutely love the mix. I love gritty fantasy. Like I said, I love Westerns. I love gritty Westerns. I love gritty science fiction. Yeah, I like that. Take out all the crazy high magic and such, and it's more like everyday people pushed to heroic adventure. Yeah, I absolutely love it. It's interesting to me. Anyways, why I wanted to talk about the complete Chronicles of Conan, because this is by far my favorite collection of the Conan stories. And this, I think, is something that a lot of you tabletop gamers should pay attention to. First off, it's illustrated by Les Edwards. Do you know who that is? I don't know. He did the fantastic Hero Quest box cover art. Yeah, the original, when the box actually looked fantastic, okay? Instead of a weird chunky anime style. The original box art. Fantastic work. And there's a lot of his illustrations throughout this book, and they are fantastic. Maybe I can pull one up. This is a massive book. What are we coming in at? Close to 1,000 pages of material here. I don't know. There's not a ton of illustrations, but overall there are. They're just spread out. But they're absolutely fantastic pencil drawings, I believe, most of them. And yeah, it doesn't get much better. This isn't a great piece, but there we can see the old dragon's head. Anyways, for tabletop gaming, we talk about hobby gaming here a lot and how important that is to me. For me, I don't own a Conan RPG. There's been a few out there. I don't own a single one. With hobby gaming, a resource like this, along with your favorite fantasy rule system, will pretty much be all that you will ever need to run great Conan or Hyborian adventures. First off, let's just talk about this book. It contains all the stories, even the drafts of what Howard wrote. Howard's writing style, most of these are short stories, okay? But they are almost, in RPG terms, they're like one-shot adventures that take place within a campaign. Yeah, you know, each story is, other than the fact that he's built a living, breathing world of the Hyborian age. It's actually set on Earth in prehistory. It's a post-apocalyptic campaign setting or fictional setting. It's after the fall of Atlantis. But anyways, the stories are barely related to each other. You know, the Conan character stays consistent. The world, the fictional setting of the world stays consistent. But you can read any of these stories in any order that you want, and you're going to come away with a great experience. They're not dependent on one another. And so there's tons and tons and tons of adventure ideas coming out of this book. Literally, as I read it, I imagined how I would run this as a game master for a group, but also how I could take this material and break it down into some solo gaming. This is the hobby gaming mindset. But this particular book, I don't know how available this is. I've had this for years. I imagine it's out of print. I think it was a special edition they've done, but I'm sure you'll be able to find it because it was not done in small numbers. It's leather bound. The Complete Chronicles of Conan, Robert E. Howard. Let me see who the publisher is, because you guys like to follow the show sometimes. The publisher is, we're going to get there, I promise. My goodness. Clay's Ltd. Printed in Great Britain. It's okay. It's been through quite a few. The Orion House. I don't know. I don't know who. I don't know who's printing this one. It's listed 1,000. OrionBooks.com. Okay, Orion Books edition. Sorry guys, I had to. It's literally a whole list of throughout the years who's done this, and then there's no clear end of who actually published this version. Anyways, with this edition, first off, you're getting Howard's original maps. Yeah? That's something that's real handy to have for your role-playing games if you want to play in the Age of Hyboria. So you get some maps in this book. Another thing was that you get the Age of Hyboria. It's written out almost like it's written out as a campaign setting, a fictional campaign setting, but it's very much written out as something that you could definitely use for your gaming. This goes through the history of the Hyborian Age, along with detailing locations and different peoples of the Hyborian Age. Outside of the stories, you're also going to get some appendices, basically. Some of these appendices are quite useful. The one I found most useful is notes on the various people of the Hyborian Age. And it goes through all the major peoples that are involved in the books. You also get a lot of notes on where Conan went after Robert E. Howard's untimely death. And you also get a full index of all known published Conan books up until this book was released. What year was this released? I don't know. I should have pulled that off. I think 2006. But hang on. Let's make sure. I like to be factual here. Did I tell you this was script-free? I don't know. Oh. So they didn't give us a date. 2006. First published in Britain by somebody else in 2006. I don't know, guys. I don't know. You guys look here. There's not many books that's going to have that cover, okay? Anyways, it details all the books ever written up until 2006 for Conan. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Like I said, you need inspiration for your games, or you want to dive off into the world of Conan as originally intended by Robert E. Howard, this is the book to pick up. Yeah, like I said, hobby-centric gaming is the way to go. I guarantee you that I can grab, I don't know, Castles and Crusades, or maybe even Dragon Quest 2nd Edition would be even better for a Conan-style game. But I can put together notes that I take from here and use the resources that this gives me, and I can definitely run a great Conan-style game. Anyways. Oh yeah, some further notes on Conan. My wife's getting into Conan. Can you believe this? We actually sat down and I started her off on Red Sonja. Okay, not actually Conan, but another of Robert E. Howard's characters in the Hyborian Age. I got her into Red Sonja. Then we watched the Conan the Barbarian, and she sat through it, and I think she actually liked it. Then we watched Conan the Destroyer. You know, I tried to get her to watch these movies years ago, and she literally looked like she was about to jump through the living room window like the lion on the Wizard of Oz coming out of the wizard's chamber or whatever in the Emerald City. Okay, but for whatever reason, she actually sat down and she watched these movies. She seemed interested in them and actually seemed to enjoy them. I don't know, maybe slowly over time we're going to turn her into a nerd fantasy gamer. I don't know, there's no promises there, but you know, sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but that might be something in the future. Who knows? Anyways, guys, coming up this next week, I don't know if I'm going to be able to come on for next week's episode. To be honest, it's my birthday week. My birthday falls on next Saturday. Okay? But I don't know what we have going on as far as plans with family and all this kind of stuff. I may get on here and try to cut something out early in case I'm taking over, but with the workload I have going on, I don't know if that's going to be possible either. I've got people waiting on their minis to be painted and sent out to them. So that's first things first. But anyways, guys, big thank you again to Ray, or not Ray, my bad, Jay. Okay, thanks to Ray out there too. I'm sure there's a Ray out there who's a subscriber to the show. But a big thanks to Jay, and a big thanks over to Glowing Turtle, and a big thanks to all of our subscribers here. You guys stay tuned. Like I said, we're getting ready to dive off into solo gaming. I'm going to take you where I haven't seen any other channel take anyone. Yeah? Almost guaranteed to, if with the next big episode we do on solo gaming, I can pretty much guarantee it's going to take your gaming to a whole nother level. So make sure you get ready for that. Anyways, I've got to go in there, back to the studio. It's 7 days a week. There's no off days, guys. I'm pulling the plow. I'm pulling the plow because I want to get us to where I want us to be. We've said anyways enough around here. I'm still Deathstalker 5, and this has been the Random Encounter Show, and we'll see you guys very soon. Hey, this is Deathstalker 5. I wanted to thank you for watching the Random Encounter Show. If you love tabletop gaming, solo RPGing, or classic video games, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. If you want more of the show, head over to our channel's About page. There you will find our Facebook and Facebook group pages where you can join in on the fun. Want to help support the show? Make sure to use our affiliate and sponsor links next time you're shopping for your favorite gaming products. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time when we roll for Random Encounter.